If you want to build a brand and a business, the best people to spread your message and talk about you is your haters. It's all branding. Like, for any business to be successful, you can't get away with not building a brand. I would have some people go, why are you wearing your own brand? Well, I want more people to know about my business and brand and my online presence.
The more people see it, the more people recognize it, even if they haven't been to the event or anything like that. That's the kind of exposure that you want from a business.
He said only a few content creators ever become full-time content creators. And the reason is because people don't stick it out long enough, because they don't see this overnight success. He said that's why the ones that make it and make a lifestyle out of it really deserve it.
Sometimes it's the indirect success you get from something that you do and not necessarily the immediate success of this particular podcast.
If you have one drop of negativity, it can fuck up your day. It just plays with you. You can't focus, you can't concentrate. If there are doubters, non-supporters, my advice, cut them off. Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 2 of the Peak Performance Podcast. Today we are going to be discussing a few subjects, and it's all going to be around social media, building a brand, building a business, but also what goes on behind closed doors, actually, because there's a lot of work and a lot of upfront work. Mm-hmm. And we're going to explain actually I wouldn't say the hardship, but the reality of what goes on actually to
realistic expectations.
To building a brand, building a business, especially for anyone watching 2023 and you want to get your feet off the ground and really get stuck into something. So what actually goes into building a brand first and foremost? Because it's the name now, isn't it? It's not necessarily the business.
I think a lot of thought. I think it's looking at your end goal and then working backwards. So what is the product or what is the service? Who would that benefit? How would you find that particular client? And I think a lot of people just have an idea and they just run with it.
Yeah.
And they haven't got a lot of thought process behind it. So I think it takes a lot of thought, firstly.
Well, how much has changed in a year? Like, we were sitting here, or when we sort of first collaborate, we were just wearing normal clothes. Maybe I know you were wearing your Casita stuff, but everything now is on brand. Like, as you can see, we're sponsored today by Trends Blueprint. We got our Peak Performance logo. I wear my podcast logo. You wear the business logo. Everything's on brand now. And like, that is the importance of it. And we've just done, obviously, the power of social media, our 4th event. It's all branding. Like, for any business to be successful, you can't get away with not building a brand.
No, I think branding as well. Some people think it's quite tacky to have everything branded. I think the complete opposite. I think within reason, as long as it's tasteful branding.
Yeah.
But I think the more your logo, especially if it's a logo that you want to be recognized, or if you've got a good slogan, the more people see it, the more people recognize it, even if they haven't been to the event or anything like that. That's the kind of exposure that you want from a business, that you're recognised even when people aren't necessarily your customers. Yeah,
but a lot of people, they don't like to sort of jump straight into the brand because it's like a confidence thing as well. Because I know that when we had my podcast jumpers and branding created, I'd wear it and I would have some people go, why do you wear your podcast, which has got your face on it? Like, and you're the person, why are you wearing your own brand? And to me, it's like, well, I want more people to know about my business and brand and my online presence. It's a case of there's that confidence, and people think, I remember having a couple of people actually, and one within the family being like, I just don't get why you wear it. And I'm like, you don't need to. Either support it or don't.
I actually think what you said there is exactly why you wear it. Someone's come to you and said, why are you wearing a jumper with your podcast on? But the thing is, you may never have had a conversation about the podcast with that person unless you had that top on.
Yeah.
So I know for me, just having the word Casita on a jumper, it starts the conversation because people firstly want to know what it means, and secondly want to know what we do.
Yeah.
So it's a good talking point.
Do you know, if you want to build a brand and a business, the best people to spread your message and talk about you is your haters. Remember that. Haters will always talk about you more than your supporters. And the brilliant thing is, haters will talk to 5-10 more people than a supporter would. But the likelihood is you're going to get a high conversion rate from the 5-10 people that they've been talking to you about. So
thank you for our growth.
So keep talking if you don't if you're not on board with what we're doing. But brand is everything, and it takes time. So let's talk about. There's a lot of front end work. We talk about this a lot, and we even have conversations in our own lives where it's like, when's it going to pay off? When's it going to pay off? Or when's this going to happen? Or when's that going to happen? And it's like, there's no timeline to this.
No.
Because if no one knows about you, how are you actually meant to generate profit in the first place? That's why you have to put in the graft up front.
Yeah. I think the old days of people going through the yellow pages looking for a local business and calling you are gone. And I think also people searching for businesses through Google as well have gone. I think you need to be visible and have a good, strong brand on social media, because I do it. I don't know if you do, but I use Instagram to search for local businesses if I want to find something, to see how strong their presence is on it. Yeah,
you're looking for their validation,
and it's up to date usually as well.
Yeah.
And I forget who it was, but somebody said if you're looking for a local florist in your area and you go on Google and you go on their website, they're going to have those generic stock, is it Interflora pictures on there. But if you go on their Instagram, you're going to see what they did this morning. You're going to see what they did yesterday, what they did last week, and then you're buying based on what they're doing today, as opposed to stock images that might not necessarily
it's like
be what they've done.
It's like going abroad when you go to restaurants. You see their billboard and it's like the same photo of all the food at all different restaurants, and you're thinking, would they serve that? And you get in and they don't do it.
They've got the same chef.
Yeah, it's all the same images. But that is totally true, is that when we are looking for a business to work with or an individual to work with, the first thing we do is we hop onto Instagram, and it's like our search engine. Because I also agree is that if I go onto a website online, I don't look through do you remember their link that they've got, gallery? I never look at gallery anymore. I see if they've got an Instagram profile and see when the last time someone posted, to see if they're current. Because that's the other thing. We'll make decisions if people are still posting. Because I don't know about you, if I haven't seen someone post in a week, I think they're dead.
Yeah.
I don't think they're alive anymore.
Well, it's like what you said on the train. You need to look at your website. You need to update it. And that goes with the same when you look at someone else's website. You don't know when that was last updated.
Yeah.
So their social media, like you said, if they haven't posted for a year, they're outdated. But if they're posting regularly, then at least you're able to view what they're doing today.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. That's the thing. You know, cross-platform is something that we're going to talk about. It's something that both you and I do. There is a huge amount of effort that goes in. And Julius Dean actually posted something on LinkedIn this morning. I don't know if you saw it. He said only a few content creators ever become full-time content creators. And the reason is because people don't stick it out long enough, because they don't see this overnight success. He said that's why the ones that make it and make a lifestyle out of it really deserve it, because all the posts, all the videos that never went viral, everything that they did, just like, I suppose, a basketball player, we use that, don't we? You know, how many shots did no one see that they missed and stuff like that. And it's hard graft, but it's really rewarding. I mean, I love sitting here doing this podcast. You know, it's got a future goal for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're not necessarily getting some huge payout today, but we know this is going to serve us dividends in the future, isn't it? This is like really setting that foundation.
But again, it's like the conversations we have, like, financially, it might not be serving that purpose right now, but it is somewhere else within our lives and our business through networking and business relationships that we've forged on other projects that we're doing. So sometimes it's the indirect success you get from something that you do, and not necessarily the immediate success of this particular podcast.
Yeah. Do you know what, Faye? Can we be a pain? Can you grab Paul's phone? Can you go to that Gary V post? Let's get that one up on WhatsApp. Do you know I sent you that WhatsApp one yesterday?
Oh, the one I didn't watch?
Yeah. Let's nab that. So while Paul's just getting that up, I shared a video with Paul yesterday. Gary V was asked, is it still worth going all in on social media? And we share this clip with you quickly. And he said, absolutely. It is the most underestimated marketing tool by so many, whether you don't realise you can just serve the masses, get your business, your brand out to the masses. And it's a brilliant video. Have you got it there?
On TikTok.
Yeah, I sent it to you on WhatsApp.
Is it really worth it to go all in on the social media thing? So like go all in on YouTube, go all in on all the platforms.
Yes. Let me
just
tell you
commit.
why. Yes, let me tell you why. It is grossly underpriced attention.
Yeah.
And it gives you the
So
leverage.
true.
Yeah.
I saw that. We had that meeting in the car.
Yep.
It's
and
so
I like
true.
literally watched you go do the right thing by YouTube, Instagram, making the memes. Like I'm watching, I'm like, he's fucking doing it.
Yeah.
What has happened? Like
Extreme growth.
There we go.
What about outside of?
But there we go.
Like,
It's basically
what
saying
about in real life?
how
Extreme
underrated it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it is. And that's why he was asked, should I go all in on it? Absolutely. And he was asked, what, on every platform? Yes, go all in on every platform, which is hard to do. But let's talk about cross-platform. How's it served us?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, isn't it, to see what message gets traction on different platforms. Like, you've had your success on TikTok. I've had more success on Instagram posts. The same video on TikTok that does well on Instagram doesn't do well on TikTok. I've had success on LinkedIn, on stuff that I haven't had success on maybe Facebook. So I think you need to do all four because it's four different audiences.
Yeah.
And it's always difficult to know what message will appeal to that person as well. So look, it's like what Benji said at the event. For an extra 30 seconds per platform, you can share the same message across all of them.
To potentially 200 different people. That's the other thing. When we're posting on platforms, don't be disheartened if you're only reaching 200-300 people. That's still 200-300 people a platform. Imagine if you do that. TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, and you have 200 views on each. That's a huge amount of people, and they are all on those platforms for a purpose. They prefer that platform. And for our event, we wouldn't sell half as many tickets if we were just bashing one platform. We'd be producing to the same eyes.
Well, you couldn't rely on Eventbrite to promote it enough for you. You've got to be out there, and it's graph. We're not just posting the link and buy now. We're talking about it. We're doing podcasts about it. Like, you have to be visible. Yeah.
So on that, really, really strong message. Cross-platform, absolutely go for it. Be everywhere. New eyes on you, and branding. Go get brand. That's what we say on that.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to be talking about trends. Let's talk about what we've learned, because at the moment there's a huge battle between TikTok, YouTube Shorts. There's like this algorithm sort of change and everyone's battling for the consumers and stuff like that. But for us, we have noticed kind of like the dips, the highs, the lows, everything like that with videos that work, videos that don't. Kind of, I don't know, what have we learned? How are we going forward with it all?
I think just keep feeding it. I think there's been certain videos that we think should have popped, and because of timing they haven't, and it's probably something that we'll look back on and say, let's repost it again.
Yeah.
Can't remember who it was that said to us, if you've had a video that either did pop or one that you think should have popped.
Julius.
Yeah, Julius. Go back and post it again.
Yeah.
Another time. Post it again. Post it 3 or 4 times until it pops. Yeah, chop it, move it about, change the angle, change the music, whatever it might be. But if you feel that strongly about the content, just go back and do it again.
It's very simple to make a viral video, to really go viral, which is classed as 5 million views, we found out. So to go viral, they class it as 5 million views. But if you want to go viral and something worked, use it, change it, adopt it, post it, captions, and really focus on making that video pop. And that's what we're really trying to do. We're really looking at those finer details that relate to the audience, aren't we?
It's kind of like the short form content we filmed at the event the other week. Yeah. And it came across, and I said to you, I don't think it's going to grab attention enough. And I sat there for about half an hour, and I ended up taking the middle part, which I thought was the juiciest part, and putting that at the front end, and just kind of cut it into loads of clips and shuffled it about until it made sense, so that we had that hook at the start. And that's the thing. It doesn't have to be a reel that is filmed constantly for 30, 40, 50 seconds, whatever it might be. There might be bits that you want to take out. There might be bits that you want to move to the front. There might be something that you need to film after to add at the front. So I think it's constantly evolving and understanding what you need to do. And like you said, if you've done one that's gone viral and you look at it and you think, this is what happened, it's because I went with this at the start and I ended this way, you can chop it all around.
That's the awesome thing about being a content creator. And what I do want to say just off the back of that, because I know a lot of people, when they think content creator, they think it's not is that a real job, like you're doing a real thing. Look, if you're a content creator, you're a business owner. I'll say that now. If you are a content creator and you're able to look at analytics, change content, chop it, make it pop, get views, there does come a point, of course, where you're posting and you want to get some outcome, return on time invested. But that, like we spoke about earlier, that comes a little bit further down the line. You get that reward through monetization or brand deals or, collabs, whatever. But that's the awesome thing about chopping content, is you can make it pop. Now, something that we have been talking about, really important to us, really important to me and to you, I know, being authentic and be original with content. I think Luke Vernon said it perfectly. It is totally true. Many people have said this before. No one owns content. It's totally true. But let's be original. Let's be authentic. Let's put our own spin on what has worked before. We're seeing a lot in the market, in the social space, a lot of repurposed similar content. What are our thoughts on that?
I think we talk a lot on podcasts, and we give our advice, we give our opinions, we give words of wisdom. And most of that has come through, obviously, learning experiences that we've had, but also from information we've consumed from other people. And then we've translated that into our language.
Yeah.
So I think it's easy to give the same message 20 different ways. Just don't copy it word for word.
Yeah. I think it's important just to put your own spin on everything so your personality comes out. For me, it's really important that if I'm putting out a message, it's Aaron's message, not regurgitated stuff where it's like, oh, I've heard that same line. I want kind of my voice, my tone, my opinion, my disagreement, my agreement with content to really come out in that piece, so that you want to separate yourself from the others. And as we know, competition is high.
Yeah.
And as we have seen as well with the algorithm for TikTok is changing, so is Instagram. To stand out from the crowd, you have to do something different, because if we're all the same, no one's growing, and that's something that we're looking at.
You can only do something different for a week then before it becomes something that everyone else does as well. So you've got to be the first. And you've got to do it the best.
Yeah.
You've got to do it the best.
It's tough, but how much planning and like time do we put into it? We put in a lot, don't we?
Yeah. We spent quite a few hours this morning just planning this podcast and planning the short form content we're going to be filming today. So, but then before the planning, there's been the research and everything like that. So, yeah, loads go into it. And like we always say, you only see this 20-second reel.
And what we have seen as well, it's funny, when you look at a lot of content, I'm sure people will be able to relate to this. When you watch certain videos on the search page, reels, stuff like that, you can see who's uncomfortable or insecure. You can see who's not putting out authentic content. And I find it quite a shame, because they're putting out content that perhaps is to do with their insecurities. And we were talking about the importance of being content. If you're going to put out a message and you're going to put out content, just be you. Just totally be yourself. People are going to agree and disagree. And I watched a video saying you want the 50-50 split. You never want everyone just to agree with you. It never grows. You don't have growth. You need haters.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've had a few where there's that internal argument between the ones that agree with what you're saying, the ones that don't agree, and you almost don't need to get involved because they have their own mini fight and push the algorithm for you.
Yeah.
And then you come with your big wooden spoon and it goes a bit quiet and stir it back up.
Yeah.
But no, you do, because the thing is, I think more people will comment when they disagree with you or start the engagement off if they disagree with you than people that think, oh, that's really good, I like it, and I'm going to comment. I think there's a much higher rate that someone will emotionally comment if you've got their back up about something.
Yeah. Oh, mate, it's so funny with the whole, like, you don't even have to stir stuff now. You just need to put out content that creates that divide of half people agreeing, half the people disagree. And that's it. And that's what content's about. Imagine if we all put out content that everyone just agreed with. How boring would the world be? Yeah, I agree. You'd never have any comments.
Yes, people.
You could, I really agree with you. It's not, you want people to challenge. I really like the fact that people do challenge it. One, because you can answer back. Although on TikTok, it limits how much you can write, which I think is ridiculous, because I can never be asked to really reply on some of them. But I do like that disagreement, because it challenges also our thought process. Like, we're not right all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, but not all the time. That's what my mum
I
would
think,
say.
you know what, though? It's like our videos where they're only seeing 20 seconds of it. So they're making that judgment on those 20 seconds or that 30 seconds. So when you have the opportunity to actually go in and explain why you've come to that conclusion, or why that's your thought process, or why you've experienced it that way and not the way that they do, then it does create that healthy debate. But everyone's making that immediate decision based on just 20 seconds of a 25-minute podcast.
Yeah. Note to everyone watching, don't get too emotional on a 20 to 30 second video, and go and watch the full clip before you get your knickers in a twist. That's what I would say. Don't be emotional over short form content. Now, building a business, we were talking about branding. get on brand all the time, create your logo, get trademark. That's really important. But building a business is awesome. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of hard work. But let's talk about some of the things we don't like about business when it's set up. Corporate world, employment, warehousing, whatever it might be. Let's talk about the word manager. Should the word manager be banned? What do we reckon?
Depends on who's got the title, I think. Look, titles are there to make people feel important, really, for me. I think it doesn't matter if you're called a manager or if you're hat 1, hat 2, hat 3. I think you all know your job. You go out there, you do your job, you do it to the best of your ability, and no one's more important than the other because you all play your part in the chain, whether you're at the start, the middle, or the finish. The person in the middle can't do their job until the person at the start has brought a lead on. Same as the person at the end always seems to think they're more valuable because they're the ones that shutting off the business and maybe bringing the money in, but they're no more valuable than the one at the start because without them, they wouldn't have got it. So I just think everyone is valuable within a business. Everyone should have the same level of respect. There is hierarchies in business and you need that because you need someone to lead the way, but I don't think ego should ever come into it.
No, and lack of respect doesn't need to leave either. What I would say, I've done a lot of videos around this, but...
Have you?
I've done a few. Yeah, I've got a couple of views.
Have to catch up.
My advice, if you are in employment, the word manager should be banned. It should be swapped with leader. I feel that everyone should have the same respect. I have no idea and the foggiest to why people who are senior director, area managers who are on a slightly higher pay packet get to speak to other employees who are on a lower pay packet like the way they want to. And my advice is go hard, take a grievance, go for the jugular, never put up with it, take notes, documents, times, conversations, and go to HR, although they're corrupt as well. But I really feel the word leader should be used rather than manager. And not to use the word employees, but use team members, because that's what we're building with Peak Performance, is a team. Faye, do you like working with Peak Performance? She's nodding. She's smiling.
She's confused.
Faye, shout out. Do you enjoy?
Yes.
Good.
I'll stop bending your finger back now.
Yeah. But no, it's really important that we build a community, like a team, that everyone is just buzzed to be a part of the growth.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people think the people sitting at the top benefit from the growth. It's about making sure everyone feels like they're getting results out of what's growing and what's being built.
I think happy teams create reliable places to work as well, because when you've got that constant revolving door of people coming in one week and then they're sacked the next week and stuff like that, it creates a lot of uncertainty in the workplace. It creates a lot of friction. It causes more pressure on the people that do work there. Yeah. So I think investing in having a happy team is essential because you'll grow quicker. If you're constantly pressing the restart button every week, there's no room for growth.
No, and how can the business grow if you've not got solid, experienced team members? And that's the thing, isn't it funny that I put out a post once and a guy said about, what we're building with Peak Performance and the community and that sort of swapping fear culture for a happy culture, which is, if anyone wants to learn more about that, Gary Vee has a book called 12.5, which talks all around swapping fear culture for a happy business culture, is that the growth is so much faster and getting rid of this high turnover, because everyone who comes in, what's the first thing an employee says? Have you been here long? Well, only 6 months, but they crack the whip, so you've got to, stay on your toes.
How much holiday do you get?
Yeah, that's the first thing. How much holiday do I get? Do we get sick pay? You want people to go in and go, hang on a minute.
Why, are you going to be sick?
Yeah, yeah. I'm being paid a decent wage. It's an open floor like plan where you can see the bosses, you can see like everyone, and it's that feel of everyone's in this together.
I'll be asking what the bonus structure is.
Yeah, straight away. But that's like call centres, isn't it? Or warehouses. I know Amazon has a lot of problems like that, and these other sort of big corporate places is the turnover. It's just the reason the turnover is because, one, there's a lack of respect. People aren't being valued. And it's something that I think needs to be spoken more about. But that's not what we're building. We're going that other direction. Now, opportunity. What are you looking forward to 2023?
A calmer year, hopefully. It was a turbulent end to the year, but yeah, a calmer year. I'm looking forward to building each facet of my personal brand this year, whether that's training, whether that's the podcast, whether it's peak performance or the property company. I'm looking for all four of those to grow further than where they were last year. But I'm really excited to see where peak performance goes this year.
Yeah,
I've got a really good feeling about this year.
Yeah, we've got good people behind us. I think what's quite cool as well, we were talking about branding, is kind of you're pushing that Paul Stapleton name more as that umbrella at the front, aren't you? So
yeah,
and that's a good move. Is we spoke about it before, is having your name that everyone knows about, because then everyone explores who you are and what you have and what you do, and then people can choose how they work with you in what department.
It's almost like cross-selling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's quite, as I said to you, it's quite difficult when you've got multiple brands to effectively push multiple brands out there on your socials without confusing people of what it is that you actually do.
Yeah.
But if you're constantly pushing your personal brand and they're directed to a personal website that's got everything that you do on, then they can explore all of those different avenues.
Yeah. And I want to finish, as we sort of come to a close, maybe we can give some tips, a bit of advice around two things. One, how to grow while staying mentally sane. A lot of people get lost mentally in this crazy world of trying to build a side hustle, business, whatever it might be, leave their employment. And also how to deal with the lack of belief from some people. So I'll say mine. For anyone that is struggling with people who don't support their journey or don't believe that they're able to achieve something, very, very simple, very blunt, cut them off. You have to have a zero tolerance to doubters. If you let one drop of poison into your life, which is tough to build a business, entrepreneurship is hard. If you have one drop of negativity, it can fuck up your day. We've had this recently. It just plays with you. You can't focus. You can't concentrate. If there are doubters, non-supporters, naysayers as they call them, whether that's family, friends, my advice: cut them off.
Yeah,
that's yours.
I think it's just making sure that what you're consuming is going to be positive as well. We're both really strict on what we follow on social because we spend such a lot of time on socials posting our stuff. We only have to open it, and sometimes the first thing that pops up can make you want to scroll further down and see more. And we're quite lucky in respect that we only follow things that are positive and that add value to us. But I think, like you said, a lot of people, if they are vulnerable and they are in a position where they may be feeling a bit down and they're trying to sort of side hustle, and all they're looking at, like you always say, is that Lamborghinis, Ferraris, yachts, stuff like that. Maybe they need to switch up and just change the narrative of what they're looking at. Maybe they need a positive quote, or maybe they need Gary V or something like that. I think just feed yourself positive messages all the time.
Yeah, reality opposed to the fakeness that is posted all the time. Final thing from both of us, my top tip for anyone wanting to be successful in that professional area, from the knowledge and experience that I've had so far, you've got to be your biggest fan. You've got to be your biggest cheerleader. Fuck everyone else. Just worry about what you believe and what you're able to achieve, because you're going to thank yourself at the end of it. Have a good network around you, but you have to believe in yourself and just back yourself till the end. That's my top tip.
I think planning. It's all in the planning, everything, whether it's planning what content you're going to put out, planning when you're going to launch it, using a scheduler to plan it across all platforms, planning what the outcome's going to be, planning what you're going to do with any leads generated from it. It's all in the planning. What is it? The 6 Ps. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance.
Yeah.
And with that one,
round of applause for that one, because I'd have fucked that one
that's
up.
a tongue twister, that one.
So everyone, we hope you've enjoyed episode 2 of the Peak Performance Podcast, and we will see you all very soon.